Hey guys, this is Rocky from We Learn Chess, and I just wanted to share a cool tactics puzzle that I just saw on chess.com with you guys. In this puzzle, the computer makes the move rook a8 to d8, and it's white to move. And there's a few things in this position that are worth taking note of before you look for a solution. So, of course, white's back rank is completely bare, which looks pretty crazy. Queen has potential check to come down to b1. Also, black has not only is he up 2 pawns, but those 2 pawns are connected passers. So if this game were to go on for a little while, those passers would probably just win the game because it'd be unstoppable, basically, except for maybe sacking both rooks or something crazy like that. Also, we'll notice that white has an advanced pawn wedged into black's camp, and if you play fianchetto positions, allowing this pawn up into h6, or for white obviously to h3 or whatever, is a really bad situation. I mean, it just opens you up to all kinds of mating nets, and that is the case here, so there's a little hint. And if you want to stop the video and look for a solution, then go ahead and do that. Alright, so I'll admit that when I was first looking at the puzzle, I was kind of looking at something a little crazy. I was just looking at total sacrifices on g6 with both rooks, and then maybe pushing the pawn to h7 with check, but I couldn't really find a solution there, and it turns out that it's just totally losing for white. There's nothing there. So I started to look for something else, and the first thing that really should have jumped out to me, I'll admit, is that I should immediately look on this weak diagonal. And eventually I did come around to playing queen c3 just to threaten this checkmate in 1. And I thought this position looked pretty cool because white is leaving both of his rooks on pre. So this rook is now no longer defended because the queen was defending it, and this one's just sitting here. And also, white is allowing checks on the open king. But it turns out that after queen b1 check and king h2, there's no other checks. There's nothing for black to do, and obviously neither rook can be taken, because in response to either rook being captured, it would just be mate in 1 here on g7. So black has to think of something else. And really the only move here to stay alive at all is f6. So this I saw when I was saying, okay, well, what to do here? And there's several ways for white to play here if you want to pause this again. If you didn't already kind of have this in your mind, then go ahead and do that. And I thought the position here, what I was planning to play on this was some kind of queen check on the light squares, because now the light squares are open, and also the king has no escape route due to this really annoying pawn. So I was looking at queen c4 check. Also, you could play queen b3 check, and that totally wins. And I just want to show you this position after the check, because I think it's even cooler than before. So, okay, well, if rook blocks, then we just have mate in 1 because the rook is pinned. So the king has to go to h8, and now you have a couple ways to win as white. And I probably would have looked at something like queen c7 and tried to calculate that. But an even cooler way to win is queen f7, and now both rooks are still on pre and the queen is on pre, and none of the 3 pieces can be taken, and also black's checks are meaningless. And when I saw this position, when I was looking at the analysis, I was like, wow, I've never, in all the games of chess I've played, have seen a side offer both rooks and a queen on the same move, all 3 pieces on pre, and none of them can be taken, and the other side is completely helpless. I mean, that's just awesome. I wish, if I could get this in a game and play something like that, that would just be so cool. But okay, so, yeah, obviously here, if the rook is taken, it's mate in 1, and, if this rook is taken, it's mate in 1 as well, and if the queen's taken, then you have this cool mate, again with this pawn wedge creating the problems here. So that means black has to look for something else here, and probably nothing better than just rook g8 to try to at least defend this square. But then you've got this cool move, so threatening mate in 1 again, and already on all of these moves the computer just wants to sacrifice the queen on f2, or play queen b1 check, and then after the king moves play queen g1 check and just offer the queen, because that's what the computer does when it's totally lost. Maybe the only other idea might be to try to get to the light squares, hoping that maybe white makes the mistake of doing this, which anyway is still totally lost, obviously. But of course, white can just take with the rook and block the diagonal that way. That'd be a fun final position as well. So black has nothing there at all. And this position is the reason that I made the video, just because I thought it was so cool. This position here, I'm sorry. And it also works in this position here to go to c7. so threatening the square immediately. And again, black's just at a total loss. I mean, if he tries to go over here to g8 and defend this critical square here, then the rook can just take here, and again, there's nothing here that can be done. Let's say, for example, maybe the queen goes over here to try to defend this this piece here. Then you just have this mate here, and there's no way for both of these squares to be covered. There's nothing else that can be done except maybe sacking the queen or something like that. And then no matter what black does on the next move, it doesn't really matter. Then you're just going to get this mate in 2 here. So back in the original position, after queen c3, f6, which is forced, and then say maybe in this line here where we looked at this, and the second line that we looked at up here, the only other thing really that black could maybe try to do is just sacrifice some material to try to stay alive. So here rook takes, and then g5, so at least the queen has got this square and temporarily is preventing mate. But then just simply rook d8, and again, the rook is overloaded, frozen, trying to defend things. And something like this here is still going to be mate, just mate with the queen, because the rook is pinned that way. And in a similar position, the last one I'll show is that if you don't play the light square check first and you go immediately up to c7, black could try a similar idea. Again, he can't interpose with this rook because it would just be mate in 1 with the rook. But if he tries to interpose with this rook and do a similar idea, play g5 here, and the queen's got this square, now you have this check first here, and this nifty move, attacking the queen, threatening mate in 1 this way. The rook can't go over g8 because it's mate in 1. There's just absolutely nothing that can be done here. And if the queen sacks herself, the rook can even take, offering the rook yet again, and of course it can't be taken. So just an amazing amount of cool positions that came out of that puzzle. They were all pretty neat looking, so I hope you enjoyed that, and have a great weekend.